Hey there, lovely souls. Welcome back to another heart-to-heart episode of the Grace-Filled Leader podcast, where we're journeying together through life's twists and turns, hopefully with some grace and wisdom. Today, I'm excited to delve into a topic that was actually inspired by one of our listeners, letting go of the need to control in our lives and in our leadership. So let's not dilly-dally. Let's get right into it, shall we? Sister friend, are you tired of constantly feeling like you're running on empty, trying to keep up with the demands of work, family, and everything in between? Well, it's time for a revolution, a guilt-free time revolution. Join me for my upcoming workshop, The Time Management Makeover, where I'll be sharing 4 game-changing steps to help you create more time for what matters most without the guilt. So say goodbye to overwhelm and hello to a life of balance and abundance. Ready to join the revolution? Head to the link in the show notes to reserve your spot today. And guess what? It's free. Welcome to the Grace-Filled Leader podcast. Do you want better work-life balance? Do you get stuck in patterns of perfectionism and people-pleasing? Have you always been an overachiever but never really felt good enough, no matter how much outward success you achieve? Do you want more time for the things that matter most? Well, you are in the right place. Here on the Grace-Filled Leader podcast, we focus on spirit-driven success and share the secrets to having better work-life balance as a busy woman in leadership. Here you will learn how to set boundaries like a boss, find peace of mind, and reclaim your time for the things that matter most. Hi, I'm Tanya, a wife, mom, leader, and certified Christian life coach. For most of my life, I tried to find worthiness through achievement. I spent decades people-pleasing and pouring myself into my work. I was looking for my value through the approval of others. This led me to feel burned out, empty, and exhausted. I had no time or energy for myself or my family. I realized that I was wasting time and energy looking for validation in all the wrong places. But my life changed when I finally surrendered and God showed me a different way. It is my mission to help you start living the abundant life God has for you. If you're ready to become fueled by grace and find freedom from people-pleasing, if you're ready to multiply your time and impact as a Christian woman in leadership, this podcast is for you. Roll up your sleeves, sister friends. It's time to get after it. Imagine standing in the middle of a turbulent sea, surrounded by crashing waves and swirling currents. That feeling of vulnerability, of being at the mercy of forces beyond your control, that's the essence of the human experience, really. It's like navigating through life's storms, desperately searching for an anchor to hold on to. But here's the paradox. The more we grasp for control, the more it slips through our fingers. It's like trying to capture the wind. We may temporarily contain it, but ultimately it's bound to slip away. Control becomes a mirage, always just out of reach, leaving us trapped in a cycle of anxiety, frustration, and isolation. To truly understand our need to control, we must dig deep into our past experiences. We learn to control as a means of self-preservation, a shield against the pain of disappointment and abandonment. But here's the tragic irony. In our efforts to protect ourselves from harm, we inadvertently erect barriers that separate us from the very connections we crave. We build walls where bridges should stand, convinced that vulnerability is synonymous with weakness. Yet, it's in our vulnerability that true strength and connection are found. At its core, the need to control is a symptom of a deeper ailment. It's a symptom of a lack of trust. We doubt our own abilities, fearing that if we loosen our grip for even a moment, everything will come crashing down. We question the intentions and the abilities of others, maybe not consciously, but unconsciously or subconsciously convinced that they'll let us down. And most tragically, we doubt the goodness and the wisdom of a God whose plans are beyond our comprehension. Sometimes we can't even articulate what we're afraid of. It is the fear of an unknown event that would cause everything to unravel. This leads to a belief that we must be involved in every single detail of every single thing, because what if someone says or does something that doesn't line up 100% with something we would do or say? What if that causes someone else to be upset and ultimately we are or we feel like we would bear all of the responsibility? What if it leads to a mistake that can't be fixed? We end up putting every bit of responsibility on our own shoulders, despite having people in our lives or on our teams that have never shown us evidence of this pretend, quote, what if scenario ever becoming a reality. Do you hear all of the unnecessary future tripping in there? And I steal that word from my podcaster friend Juliana Page. Future tripping. We are literally worrying about and responding to something that has never and may never happen. In doing so, we further reduce our capacity and we diminish the capacity of our team. Without literally saying so, in our actions, we tell them that we do not trust them to do the job we hired them for. I'm certain none of that is something that you want or intend as a leader. We can apply that same line of thinking to our marriages and to our parenting. Do we fear the what if so much that we never let go of the need to control nearly every aspect of every detail of everything? Do you see how by doing this we stunt the growth of those around us? We limit the potential of our partners, our children, and our team members. This inadvertently leads them to feel a lack of trust and autonomy, which will at some point result in a decreased sense of fulfillment for them and for us. At some point, we'll be left sitting in the hangover of self-imposed consequences, burnout, resentment, martyrdom, you name it. I am truly sorry to put it so bluntly, my friends. I only speak because I understand it and I have lived it. I would love if you could find freedom sooner than I did. I would like you to feel the tremendous relief that comes from unyoking ourselves to fear and instead yoking ourselves to the Lord. Wouldn't you like to feel the unweighting? Wouldn't you like to literally feel the lifting of this burden? So how do we break free from chains of control and embrace the sweet surrender of trust? Well, here are some practical tips to help guide you on your journey. Number one, you need to cultivate self-awareness. Take time to delve into the depths of your own thinking and feeling. Explore your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors with a gentle curiosity. Notice when you're operating from a place of fear and control, and just try to redirect your focus toward trust and surrender. For example, let's say you notice a pattern of micromanaging at work. Instead of shame or guilt or berating yourself for it, take a step back and ask yourself why you feel the need to control every detail. Is it a fear of failure? Is it a lack of trust in your team? By exploring the root cause with compassion and curiosity, you can begin to loosen the grip of control and start to cultivate a greater sense of trust. Number two, you need to practice radical acceptance. Embrace the reality that there are many things in life beyond your control. Instead of resisting or fighting against them, practice radical acceptance and learn to flow with the currents of change. Surrender to the ebb and flow of life, trusting that each wave carries you closer to your destination. For example, you may be facing a difficult situation in your personal life, maybe a health crisis or a strained relationship. Instead of railing against the unfairness of it all, practice radical acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning yourself to your fate. Rather, it's about acknowledging reality as it is and finding peace in the midst of chaos. Number 3, communicate with grace. In your relationships, prioritize open and honest communication. Share your fears, hopes, and dreams with your partner, your children, and colleagues, and invite them into the process. Create a safe space where vulnerability is celebrated and trust can flourish. Let's say you're struggling to communicate with your spouse about a major decision. Instead of keeping your fears and concerns bottled up inside, sit down together and have an open, honest conversation. Share your thoughts and feelings and listen to their perspective with an open mind and heart. Work together to find a solution that honors both of your needs. Number 4, lead by example. As leaders, lead with humility, empathy, and trust. Recognize that true leadership is not about wielding power or control. It's about empowering others to realize their full potential. Delegate tasks, provide support, and create a culture of collaboration and innovation. As a leader in your organization, maybe you are tempted to micromanage your team to ensure that everything goes according to plan. Maybe instead, lead by example by empowering your team members to take ownership of their work. Delegate tasks, and delegate the tasks according to their own giftings and passions. Provide guidance and support when needed, and then trust in their ability to succeed. By fostering this culture of trust and collaboration, you'll not only free yourself from the burden of control, but you'll also unleash the full potential of your team. And finally, number 5, and this is the most important advice, surrender to God's plan. Surrender to the wisdom and guidance of a loving God. Trust that He is working all things together for your good, even when the path ahead seems uncertain. Release the need to control every outcome and instead surrender to the divine power of His Spirit and His leading. Align your will with His and watch as miracles unfold before your eyes. In times of uncertainty and doubt, turn to your faith for guidance and strength. Trust that God has a plan that is far greater than anything you could ever imagine, and surrender your fears and worries to Him. Let go of the need to control every aspect of your life and instead surrender to His divine will. As you align your heart with His, you will find peace, clarity, and a renewed sense of purpose. You will feel an unweighting from your shoulders, all this burden you're carrying out of this need to control. Remember this, sister friend, you are not alone in your struggle against fear-based living and the need to control. Together, we can break free from its grip and step into the abundant life that God has planned for us. This is not easy work, and if you need a partner, let's chat. Grab a free call with me to see if Christian life coaching is for you. And until next time, remember to embrace each moment with courage and faith. And as always, I pray that the Lord fills you with gratitude, peace, and His amazing grace. I pray this episode blessed you, spoke to you, or encouraged you in some way. If so, please share it with a friend and head on over to Apple Podcasts to leave me a review. That's the only way for me to know if you're enjoying the show. Nothing blesses me more than to hear from you. Also, come on over to our free Facebook community. This is a great place for us to support one another on our faith and leadership journeys. You can find the link to the group in the show notes or go to gracefilledleader.com/community. If you have questions or content ideas for the show, please send me a message on SpeakPipe or via email. Go to gracefilledleader.com/contact and leave a written or voice recorded message. I would love to know how I can best serve you on the podcast. Now to Him who can do immeasurably more than we can ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us. Ephesians 3, verse 20. Until next time, my friends, God bless.